Welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to take a closer look at Advanced Micro Devices, ticker AMD, and some recent announcements that the company made that they are bringing AI solutions to their consumer GPUs. I do believe this is a smart move for AMD. It's something that we've seen its biggest competitor in this market and the leader Nvidia has done in the past. So in today's episode, what I want to do is kind of just take a closer look at this update and just share my overall thoughts. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing, I just want to take a closer look at price action right now. AMD is sitting at roughly $106 as I am recording. Earlier today, we did have some kind of news or updates on AI regulations that might impact companies like AMD. We can see AMD investors were a little bit worried earlier on, but that kind of fear has kind of left. Next, if we take a closer look at Nvidia obviously being the king of the AI market right now, was down roughly 3.5% as I am recording. Earlier today, the stock was down a lot more as kind of investors were worried about those AI regulations. Today, like I mentioned, I don't want to talk about that. What I really want to talk about is how AMD is extending their AI solutions into consumer GPUs. So here we can see in this article and blog that came out yesterday, AMD extends support for PyTorch machine learning development on selected RDNA 3 GPUs with ROCm 5.7. So a lot of few things here, right? So for those that are not familiar, PyTorch is this kind of huge machine learning development platform, and it's used by almost all AI developers at the moment, right? And this is where you're kind of using it for a lot of AI workloads. And previously, the only way to kind of really benefit from it is by using NVIDIA GPUs, by using NVIDIA consumer and data center GPUs, or using other accelerators that were kind of compatible with it.
Finally, I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
AMD's kind of MI250, MI200, and the upcoming MI300 were compatible with it. But now AMD is allowing their consumer GPUs to also be compatible. So they do mention research and developers working with machine learning models and algorithm using PyTorch can now use AMD's ROCm 5.7 and Ubuntu, which is the Linux operating system, to tap into the parallel computing powered of the Radeon RX 7900 STX and the Radeon Pro W7900 graphics cards, which are based on the AMD RDNA 3 GPU architecture. So a few things here, right? So overall, for those that are not familiar, NVIDIA has their CUDA software, right? We've heard about CUDA before. AMD has a new solution, not new, right? But they are a solution that they're pushing a lot into the software space, and that is AMD ROCm. Now, if we take a closer look at these graphics cards that they mentioned, we see AMD's Radeon RX 790 STX. This is their top of the line, most recent GPU. And if we take a closer look, that's usually at a price point of about $1,000. I think that's pretty insane. It's crazy, right? How much graphics cards are nowadays. I really want to get a 4090, and that's like in the $1,700 price point. Now, if we take a closer look at the Radeon Pro W7900, this is more a professional graphics card. The other one was really meant for gaming. This is more meant for like professional and creators because it does kind of offer a bigger memory size. Usually, this one comes with 48 gigs of memory, while this one comes with 24, I believe, which is still a huge amount. And memory is definitely very, very important when it comes to things like AI workloads. So these two GPUs now support the AMD's ROCm software solution. And I think this is a great move because right now we are kind of getting into this market where there are AI startups, AI companies, AI developers that don't need the true power of maybe the H100, the A100, or these crazy kind of data center GPUs. They can really benefit though from the top tier consumer GPUs one way or another. I've talked about Nvidia in the past, and then here is a company called Lambda. Lambda is a designer. They have cloud GPU solutions, but they also have workstations, and these workstations are meant for AI workloads. Here we can see they only have workstations available with Nvidia. So we can see this workstation has 2x RTX 4090s. This one has 2x RTX A600s, and so on and so forth, right? And the main reason is because NVIDIA's current high-end GPUs, like the RTX 4090, are available to use CUDA, which is the AI software. We didn't really have a solution for AMD to kind of really accelerate some form of AI workloads one way or another with things like PyTorch. But now with this, I do believe in the upcoming months, we might start to see workstations, maybe not from Lambda, because Lambda is kind of, they are, NVIDIA invests in Lambda, so maybe Lambda focuses a little bit more on NVIDIA products. But I do believe in the upcoming quarters, we are going to see maybe more workstations come out with NVIDIA, with AMD GPUs instead. And I do believe there is such a huge demand of AI workloads, of AI engineers, of AI software developers right now, that the demand for these workstations are definitely going to be a nice tailwind. Maybe nothing crazy, but it does kind of create a new tailwind for these GPUs. So like I mentioned, right, NVIDIA has their CUDA software toolkit, where AMD now has the ROCm software. And like I mentioned, NVIDIA, you can use like the 4090 RTX GPUs to kind of power AI workloads. For example, I definitely have been looking at kind of testing out a few AI solutions, and I was already thinking of building maybe a few servers using RTX 4090s, just because it's a lot easier to buy them opposed to maybe buying some of the higher end cards instead. So these new solutions we can see here in AMD's kind of ROCm platform. You start off with RDNA-based GPUs. You can use the AMD Radeon, the ones that we just talked about, or obviously their MI250, their MI200, and overall we can see kind of the stack that it goes from here. They do mention that engineers are looking for cost-effective solutions to develop and train their machine learning power applications. Like I mentioned earlier on, a local PC or workstation with a Radeon 7 900 series GPU presents a capable yet affordable solution to address these growing workloads challenges, thanks to large GPU memory sizes of roughly 24 gigs to even 48 gigs like we saw earlier before. They do mention that AMD ROCm, short for Radeon Open Compute Platform, is the open AMD software stack for graphic processing unit programming. So again, pretty much similar to CUDA. Several domains like general purpose computing on GPUs or GPU, high performance computing, and heterogeneous computing is something that you would use AMD ROCm for. So they do mention that RDNA 3 architecture based GPUs for use with PyTorch, which is one of the leading machine learning frameworks out there right now. So I do believe this is a great move for AMD, is kind of following what NVIDIA has done in the past. Another thing that I want to take a closer look at AMD is we did have a report last Friday on their blog that AI accelerated video editing with DaVinci Resolve 18.6 and AMD Radeon graphics. So for those that don't know, if you heard of kind of Adobe Premiere and Adobe Photoshop and other types of video editing, there is another solution out there that I feel a lot of creators use, and that is DaVinci Resolve, which is one of the leading video editing solutions that combines editing, color correction, visual effects, motion graphics. Like I mentioned, it's a video editing software pretty much like some of the solutions that Adobe creates. Very similar to Adobe, DaVinci recently added several AI tools to their software, right, to enhance and improve production quality. Now they mention with the latest update of DaVinci, which is 18.6, AMD hardware can overall boost some of these AI workloads, as some of those AI workloads are coming to local hardware. So again, they mentioned AMD Radeon 7 900 XTX graphic card offers up to 4 times faster neural engine performance when using DaVinci Resolve 18.6. So they mentioned different types of things like Magic Mask. You get 4x performance on Radeon AMD GPUs. On, for example, when you want to do kind of upscaling here, you can see it's better. When you want to do things like speed wrap, you can see how it is better to use a GPU. And I do believe we are kind of getting into this AI market where a lot of AI workloads are coming locally. And luckily, if you have a GPU one way or another, you're already ahead of the game. We've seen Nvidia kind of announce something very similar to this last week when they announced, when Adobe announced the numerous AI solutions in their Maxim AI event, and Adobe released numerous AI solutions. And here, Nvidia took it to the press release and kind of showcased that, hey, look, using our GPUs is going to be a lot better when you're kind of using a lot of these AI solutions. So it does seem like here, like AMD is kind of taking a book from Nvidia at the moment. First, like we saw, bringing those GPU solutions to kind of AI developers and AI software engineers. I think that's a great move with the ROCm platform, accepting kind of their high-tier GPUs. The second thing we did see was kind of them taking that same move of kind of creating more AI workloads with video editing companies, and I do believe trends like this are going to continue. So I want to say this kind of does make me a little bit bullish for AMD. Like I mentioned, AMD is my number 2 position. Nvidia is my number 1. AMD, I'm really liking it at below $100 price points. But here, it does seem like they're heading in the right direction with the AI market, with the software market. Even though it's going to take them some time to really get to where they need to be, Nvidia is still going to dominate this for at least the foreseeable future. I don't see that changing anytime soon. But AMD is definitely on the right track. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.